My fiancé wants his father to check my tomorrow night before I get married. My fiancé proposed to me about 8 months ago. We decided on having a relatively small wedding, which is in 2 days. Everything was going great. He seems absolutely perfect, and we are very much in love. I am untouched, and so is he. He wanted to save it for marriage, and I wasn't fused, so I agreed to saving it. He has told me earlier that in his family the father checks the bride is untouched the night before the wedding. I laughed, as it seriously sounds like a massive joke. No. Turns out he was dead serious. He wants me the night before to open my legs up in a small ceremony type thing, so his dad can check me while him, his brother and uncle can watch so that they know I am still pure. I told him, fat chance I'm going to do that, and he was begging me to go through with it and how important it is for him. He said he knew it was slightly embarrassing for me, but his mom did, and it will prove how much I love him and that I have nothing to hide anyway, as I am still untouched. I left and he was crying. It was very dramatic. I want to call off the whole wedding because of this and never talk to him again. But at the same time, it's only one thing, and other than that, we are genuinely perfect for each other, and I don't want to spend my life with anyone else, and it is very important to him and his family. What freak frag do I do? I am currently at my friend's house, and I might stay here for the night. Tomorrow would be our last day as an unmarried couple, and I am straight up panicking. Update. First of all, thank you so much for all the replies. I didn't think this would get so big. I have read pretty much all of them. Special shout out goes to the person who says this was fake solely on the fact that I write like a man, whatever that means. Also, thanks for all the gold and silver. It's appreciated, although if you wanna spend money, give it to the charity or something. I went and talked to him this morning. I told him that his father is not going to look at me and he needs to respect that. He was adamant that it needs to happen and accused me about lying about me being untouched. I was trying to be calm and rational, but he was not having it and just became more and more angry. I told him if he really loved me, he would stand by me on this and tell his father no. To which he slapped me and said he didn't need to prove anything. So I ended it and left him. I'm currently back at my friend's house being miserable and eating pizza, which is pretty fun. So yup, thanks everyone. My boyfriend won't marry me if I don't give him intimacy every day. My boyfriend and I have been together for 7 years. We have 2 kids together, 3 years old and 16 months, and have discussed marriage. In the last 2 years, he's increasingly become more vocal about the lack of intimacy we have. This morning we got into a disagreement about how he now needs intimacy every day, or at least needs me to attempt. After going back and forth for a minute explaining that my intimacy drive isn't like that, I struggle with a horribly weak pelvic floor, hormonal imbalance, chronic depression, anxiety, grieving the loss of my grandma, and I've been dealing with life postpartum as a stay-at-home mom. Managing my mental health has been a battle lately. He's incredibly supportive in all ways, so what he said to me really set me back and made me not want to have intimacy anymore. He said everyday intimacy is a need that I gave him that when we were first together, and that's one of the main reasons he got serious with me in the first place. He said if I want him to make me his wife, that we have to get back to that, or at least attempt to have intimacy every day, even if it gets interrupted somehow. He doesn't want to find it elsewhere. I've been waiting years to be engaged and married to him, and this crushed me. I feel like he's putting too much of our relationship into intimacy. My love language is physical touch, and I would never say if he doesn't cuddle me, I wouldn't marry him. Now he's saying he won't marry me if I don't give him intimacy every day. He says to ask any woman how often they give their men love, and they'll will say every day, if not most days out of the week. Mind you, we have intimacy like twice a week, at least once. We don't have the free time to lay around all day responsibility free. We have kids, he has a full-time job, I'm tired all the time. I don't get any time off or away from my kids. The last time I was away from them was February for 2 hours. They are my 24/7 job during the day and if they're up at night. Breastfeeding takes so much energy from me, along with my inability to sleep through the night. What do? I feel like he is absolutely committing intimacy coercion. I feel defeated. I feel like my value to him has gone down. If I can't deliver, will he cheat? I wasn't prepared for any of this. Edit. Just so everyone knows before making assumptions, I'd like it to be known that regardless of this especially, he is a great and equal partner. I've never viewed him as a man-child. He loves to clean and cook, he parents, and I get gifts and flowers regularly. He is an amazing dad. He never brings work stress home. He spoils me with attention, etc. This came out of left field and I wasn't prepared for it or expected such a baffling ultimatum. This has completely flipped my perspective of what our relationship is and how he views me. How could he stay with me and continue to raise our family as a boyfriend but won't marry me because we don't have enough intimacy? Edit 2. A frequently asked question in the comments is if he was okay during the 6 weeks postpartum period, so here's that answer. He did and didn't mind not having intimacy or that I went a little longer than 6 weeks for both our kids. I had an ectopic pregnancy which causes me to have severe pain every month during ovulation for 5 days and during my period. He's never complained if we can't have intimacy. He takes care of everything during my periods and especially during the days I am kneeled over during ovulation. Update. After taking a few days away from the conversation and focusing only on the kids, we were able to have an actual conversation, not a heated argument led by emotions. I explained to him that this whole thing really hit me out of a left field. I thought we were doing well, that I thought he wanted to get married, thought everything was great. I re-explained everything I was going through and how hard things have been lately. But he wouldn't know because I am keeping my stuff together all day and especially when he comes home. He apologized. He said he was being arrogant, unreasonable, and let his emotions get the best of him. He explained that as much as he loves our kids, he misses what we had before. The freedom, the constant connecting, the ability to melt into each other whenever we felt like it. He said it wasn't fair for him to lash out and that everything was great and he wants to marry me, so on and so forth. We touched on almost every topic of what's going on with me and he's already offered to schedule me a massage if I want to help in any way possible with correcting my pelvic floor pain and everything else. He did explain that intimacy is his way of connecting with me, and even though there are other ways that just happens to be his favorite, me misses the me I was and was worried I was starting to shut him out. I told him he could have asked. He said he did, but I only ever said I was fine. My fault, I guess. I don't like sharing when I'm feeling down, having anxiety, or become depressed, so I do everything I can to mask that. He said usually he could tell if I wasn't actually fine, but I haven't been showing any signs of my usual not fine behavior. He said he would never look outside of our relationship for intimacy or coerce me into something I don't want, and he just wants me back, like how he used to have me, all to himself, uninterrupted. I might have caused some loneliness or insecurity, I don't know. That cuddling and even sitting next to each other gets interrupted by the kids and he doesn't know what to do. Apologizing again, he made it clear he doesn't want intimacy until I do, and if I don't want it, then it won't happen. He doesn't want intimacy until he hears that I want it. It's a clear communication problem and lack of alone time. He even offered couples therapy to help us through this rough patch. Obviously, I'm still upset about this. Conversation will continue to be had and the work to try and when this will be done. I'm still emotionally and physically distracting myself from him, from all the emotions I'm feeling, but as long as he's committed to doing his part, as he says, I can work with him. My wife said her ex's name while we were having intimacy. My wife and I have been married for 4 years, and we have a 2-year-old. We dated on and off for 3 years before getting married. Last night, she says her ex's name while we are having intimacy. She gave some weird excuse as to why. She said it's a very common name and must have heard it recently. I wasn't going to start a big argument with her at that time. It has since gotten me worried about why she did that. For some background, this was a guy she was with for a couple years before I met her. They met in college and were serious for some time. They had broken up when I met her and decided they were better as friends. They were friends for years before they dated. We started dating, but he remained in the picture. He was her best friend first and foremost, and I gradually went along with it for her. Several months passed and I put my foot down, saying it's too uncomfortable for me. There was some resistance, but she steps back from him. Every time we broke up, she was with him. We finally reconciled and got engaged. He apparently didn't know this and stopped talking to her. She was devastated, which should have been a red flag. We talked about it and she was happy to have chosen me. Now, after this has happened, I am tempted to see if she gotten back in contact with him again. I know she's checked in on his social media because I saw the searches on the laptop. She doesn't know I know that. I don't think she'd cheat, but this guy was always different for her. Do I just confront her? Do I start going through her phone, or am I being paranoid? Update. Thank you everyone for your help and advice. I did my investigating before talking to her. I went through his social media first, but nothing explicitly saying anything was going on. There were a few mentions of his love in some comments, but that could mean anything. I did look at the phone bill, and there looks to be calls with him pretty regularly. On to hers, I was able to get on her phone when she was asleep. She must have forgot I knew the code. Nothing in text and no weird calls, so she deleted them. I did find some apps she tried to keep hidden, like Snapchat and Kik. Sure enough, there's their conversation and pictures. I took pictures of all of it on my phone to have as proof. She exploded when we had the conversation and left with our child to her mother's. I contacted a lawyer and I am in the process of a divorce and figuring out custody. I'm heartbroken. I am more angry than anything else. I am angry at her, but I am also angry at myself for dismissing so many red flags. The conversations I found were confirming they were having an affair. The pictures were ones they were exchanging, including nudes. My best friend asked if I would be her semen donor for her surrogate, and I am in love with her, but she has no idea. So for a bit of background, we met in college and have been best friends since then. We hooked up once years ago. It was a drunken exchange. I honestly chalked it up to we were both drunk and in the right place. She got ovarian cancer that was a stage 3 a few years back and survived and has been in remission. However, she had to have a complete hysterectomy. She had mentioned a year ago she was considering surrogacy. She had told me she planned to use a donor as she has been single for a while. Thing is, I am in love with her and I have been for years, but she has no idea. I know at one point she had feelings for me, but I was seeing someone then, and out of respect for my girlfriend at the time, she never acted on it. I feel like before I give her an answer, which will be yes, I should tell her how I feel. I want to make her dream of motherhood come true, and I am honestly touched. She thinks so highly of me. She wants me to be the father. Regardless of how she feels, I will still donate, and if she doesn't still feel the same way, I will love her as my best friend. Guess I am trying to find the best way to ask her and came to Reddit for advice. So how should I handle this? Updates. I appreciate all the feedback. Most of you were nice. There was a few people telling me I needed to be alpha and be more manly, but whatever. Anyway, the consensus with my real life friends was I needed to tell her. We do brunch on Saturdays because she does yoga Sundays, so we met up this morning. I could barely eat and she could tell something was up. She got worried thinking I was going to say no or something worse. So by the time we took a walk, both of us were nervous wrecks. I sat her down and told her everything how I realized I was in love with her several years back, but was too much of a chicken to come clean. I told her that I never said anything because I did not want to jeopardize our friendship. Her face turned white. Then a myriad of expressions came over her face. Then she started laughing till tears came down her face. I honestly was stunned. My stomach was in my throat, and I honestly thought that almost 12 years of friendship were down the toilet. Then she started crying, sobbing really, and she lightly hit my chest. She half laughed and sobbed that she was in love with me too, but she thought that it would also impede the friendship we had, and she wanted nothing to screw up what we have. We hugged, and I told her that there is no one to this earth I would want to have a child with but her. We talked for hours. In fact, I just got home. We have decided that we want to focus on us for now. I want us to be at that point that we can do it together. I know that this isn't a rom-com and that things could end up not working out for us in the end. However, I am pretty sure if there is a such things as soulmates, she is mine. Thank you guys and girls for giving me the courage to tell her. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and see you in the next video.